the largest
Over the years,
intelligence
I've repeatedly made
apparatus
clear
in the
that
world,
we would take action
with the
within
biggest
Pakistan
budget in the
if we
history
knew where
of the
bin Laden
world,
was.
has been looking
what
for
we've done.
Osama bin Laden for
But it's
years and
important
years and years.
to note that our counterterrorism cooperation
can't
with
find him.
Pakistan helped lead us
Some
to bin Laden
doofus jerk-off
and the
reporter
compound where he was hiding.
with a camera crew
Indeed, bin Laden
waltzes right
war
into his
against
hideout and
Pakistan
interviews.
ordered
So
attack.
why do all the fools believe
When the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, we had
The
this
American
brilliant
people did not
idea
choose
that we were
this
going to
fight.
come to
It's because
Pakistan
they're not
and
trying.
create
They
a
don't want
force
to.
of
Osama
mujahideen,
bin
equip
Laden
them
is their
with Stinger missiles and everything else
and
to
he
go
is
after the
serving
Soviets
nearly
inside
10 years.
Afghanistan.
The Second Amendment is not about duck hunting, but it's about our rights, all of our rights, to be able to protect ourselves from all of you guys up there.
UN Agenda 21, bailouts, sellouts, Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, false flag terror attacks, Bill Gates, Henry Kissinger, New World Order mind control, Bank of America stealing homes with cut and paste mortgage loans, police, state, taser guns, FEMA camps, Mandarin, Monsanto rules the food supply while Big Pharma dopes your mind, prison system, profiteers, foundations, fund the fears, fund the evil through the years, the world's not as it appears. CIA smuggles drugs while Wachovia and Wells Fargo launder them, then give the proceeds to the owners of the Federal Reserve Bank. Now the IRS takes money out of every single check. Money created out of thin air and leave you with debt. They want to make you a serf, a slave to their demand. They want to take your life in every way they can. Fluoride, GMO, vaccines, chemtrails, United Nations genocide. The world they show us is not real. This is how they kill and steal. Rothschild, Bundy, Rockefeller, Club of Rome. On the Georgia Guide, soldiers written in stone. Cut through the
And
matrix,
on nights
awaken to
like
the
this
lies.
one,
Do not
we can say to those
hypnotized. We are
families who
one
have lost
nation,
loved
under
ones
God,
to Al-Qaeda's
indivisible,
terror,
with liberty and
justice
for
has
all.
been done.
The lethality of their power is greater than ever. Their capacity to impose control over the politically awakened masses of the world is at a historical low. And in earlier times, it was easier to control a million people than physically to kill a million people. Today, it is infinitely easier to kill a million people than to control a million people.
Good evening. I'm Howard Nima, and this is Truth Talk News. Obama's package, his unveiling of this $500 million gun violence package, and his executive orders will be the topic, more or less. I'll be going over a lot of things, but I'll have to be brief, ladies and gentlemen, because once again, YouTube has censored me and punished me. NBC actually has put a claim that if I could dispute the claim, but I might have to go to court for uploading of a public domain film that maybe they reestablished the copyrights and now they want rights on it. 6 months ago, I uploaded a public domain version of All Quiet on the Western Front. Apparently, NBC figured this out. NBC is, of course, owned by GE, the military-industrial complex. And much of the people I speak of here on Truth Talk News, exposing the New World Order, where truth, the mainstream and alternative media ignores, is the top story. And this is really what's going on. So yeah, they censored me. I was able to upload, longer segments. I could go as long as I wanted. But they gave me a strike and made me go to class, copyright class, or I couldn't get into my account. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. It's true. In fact, on Truth Talk News on live stream, it's right there in the archives. You can watch it. How they made me do this. I went through the whole procedure. I had to take a test. I'm not kidding. A copyright test. Because they want to eventually, I'm sure, try to shut down my YouTube page, which is YouTube Freedom First Films, and bar me from ever being on YouTube again. because I uploaded a fair use video of All Quiet on the Western Front for social discussion. Now, if I dispute this, they can put their lawyers against me to force me to into a situation, so it's like a scare tactic. So if I get it 2 more strikes, I'm out. And the punishment, I guess, is that now I can only upload 15-minute videos. So 5 minutes has elapsed. Let's get into the meat of the potatoes here. And the potatoes here. So Obama's executive actions are outrageous. Again, they look very mundane. The media is, even the right-wing media, they're portraying it as, oh, it's really nothing much, you know. But they don't understand, of course, it really has an agenda. The agenda is eventually to take the guns, little by little, piece by piece, as they've done with everything else that I can go into detail with, and I should. I'll just make this a rant. Okay. War. Horrors of war. World War I. Oh, my God. It occurred slightly after the founding of the final central bank for the European, Anglo-Saxon European Union, for that lack of a better word. But now I'm digressing a little, because this is going back 100 years to the founding of the Federal Reserve in 1913, where we are now in conflict in the areas of the world, if people have not been paying attention, where there are no central banks. So now each little area that, you know, Libya now has central banking, and they're all the, you know, the Rothschilds have gone wild in the Middle East. It's really true. And now we're under this tyranny here at home, while all this other corruption and evil is going on in the world. Devaluing our currency. 100 years of where we had prosperity. I mean, they've been constantly trying to bring in this new world order, and they create money out of nothing with the Federal Reserve and put Germany into reparations and fleece the money from the people. It's all the people, the people that support these people. Like, I mean, how can you support these criminals that we've elected? They're puppets of the New World Order. Obama, Clinton, Bush, going way back. The only one who stood up for liberty and truth and freedom and thought that there was actually a reality to it and and he tried to expose it, was John F. Kennedy, who made a famous speech in Amherst to the news press, and several weeks later, or 4 weeks actually, almost to the day, he was assassinated. You see, it really is a true conspiracy. It's a conspiracy of silence. It's a conspiracy of hate and evil. And the wars have led to new conflicts. Each war leads to a new conflict. We have to get peace, but then there's a new conflict. We have to get peace, and there's a new conflict. So finally, they say we have to end all of these horrible wars. The wars to end all wars was World War I, right? Then, of course, Hitler rose to power because the Weimar Republic, because the people were able to be manipulated because they were starving. Does this sound familiar? That there were so many people out of work, and the only thing saving our economy, ladies and gentlemen, is debt. More and more debt to the Rothschild criminal bankers. And the Rockefellers, can't leave them out of it. I mean, don't bank with Bank of America, Chase, Citibank. These are the banks that are enslaving the world. And I mean, the problem is you can't really even use. I mean, they control the oil industry and all these, and some things you just can't stop. But try not to support this evil. So we're back to like this 100-year thing. Let's talk about the last 100 years. So 100 years ago, the Federal Reserve was created. World War I ensued, which many things happened. First of all, the eugenics movement was heavy then. They were sterilizing African Americans. They were talking about all this whole thing, tons of money. Atmar Verschoor and all of these other scientists, the Rockefeller Foundation gave them tons of money, the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute. Oh my God, founded by the Rockefeller Foundation. They also founded all the medical schools and fund the current cartel controls the media through Reed Elsevier, who actually is like a holding company for all this media propaganda. I called Alex Jones on that. I called on Alex Jones's show and spoke to him about it. He said, Reed Elsevier. Yeah, we'll have to look into that. Nobody ever said a word. You shill, Alex Jones. Anyway, Reed Elsevier is big. It's a big piece in the puzzle, but nobody ever talks about it. And it needs light. I did a few videos on it, and I'll continue to talk about it. They own 15,000 magazines worldwide. They own media and conglomerates of, oh my God, cable companies. They publish hardcore books and all the school books your children read in school in the socialist, communist school system. The indoctrination programs. The medical school indoctrination programs with the big pharma fraud. It really is a large conspiracy. A conspiracy of silence. But we must raise our voices. We must raise our voices because Obama's executive actions seem benign. Issue a presidential memorandum to require federal agencies to make the relevant data available to federal background check systems. Improving background checking is, I agree. I don't think felons should, of course, evil doers, people that have done bad crimes, should be barred from having a weapon. But you see, the government has things so, it is impossible in the next 3 minutes, because that's all I'll have, to get this all out, because they've put me in YouTube copyright school and punished me with removing my unlimited amount of time that I could talk. It's just almost hysterical. But wasting time on that. We have this cartel controlling the media. We have the medical schools, the drug companies funding studies for the government. It's just it's like unparalleled, the corruption and evil. And now we have a federal background check system, which again is good, but you have these people that have they're felons. You can't get a gun if you're a felon. But what if the felony is has nothing to do with violence? I think that if you should be denied the right to a firearm, it should be because your felony was a violent felony, not some. As much as I hate the banksters, but these banksters, take away their guns. Whatever. They're banksters. If they're gonna want it, I don't know. Mostly it's Bernie Madoff, he's in jail. Okay, well, he's a felon. If he ever got out of jail, he's obviously never going to get out of jail, but let's take his gun away. I don't know, he's not violent, he's just a criminal. He's just a criminal. Now, my point is, there's the white-collar crime, there's the violent crime, there's the blue-collar, stick him up or, whatever, that kind of stuff. But I really think that it's a problem, because I don't think that people should be limited in any way, shape, or manner if they're law-abiding citizens. And if you are a violent felon, you should not have any access to weapons of any kind. But if you commit a crime, and again, it's such a police state that you can just commit a drunk driving. Felony, you kill somebody in a drunk driving accident. You can't get a gun. Think about that. It reduces how many people can have firearms. Many, many felonies can be committed that are not violent as far as the person intending violence and evil. I'm Howard Nemo, Truth Talk News, livestream.com.